Okay, team, this is lesson number 2, which is the real estate reviews. And we've got a few different slides here. What I've found is this. I don't know if you've experienced this. I've heard this from some of you that, first of all, real estate reviews is one of the most powerful habits that a ninja can have for generation of referrals and business. And yet it's one of the ones we get pushback on. And I think where the pushback comes is they're not comfortable making the call to set the appointment. Now, they'll use all kinds of excuses about, well, I don't know how to create the review or what should be in it and so on. But what it really boils down to is they're not comfortable with making the phone call to set up the appointment. So I've revised this a little bit to try to help with that. And one of the things I did was I interviewed Pam Cass, who's the master ninja for real estate reviews. So we're going to learn how does she call for that appointment. So here we go. So success habit number 7 is 2 live real estate reviews per week. Real estate reviews are one of the most powerful ways to generate referrals and to build relationships. And the important part of doing that is that they need to be live whenever possible. You may do more real estate reviews than just 2. You can do as many as you want, and you may do some of them through the mail, but we'd like to have at least 2 real estate reviews per week that are live. You know, if you think about your trusted advisors, they do, maybe they don't call it reviews, but they call it checkups or reviews. Think about your accountant. Do you see your accountant once a year? You might see your accountant more than once a year. How about your doctors? Your eye appointments, your dental appointments, your medical appointment? Do you have that annual checkup? What about your investment advisor? Do you own stocks and bonds, and do you have a portfolio? Do you receive every month or every quarter from your investment advisor the value of your portfolio? Does your investment advisor call you periodically to review that portfolio? What about your banker? Do you get a statement every month showing the balance in your accounts? If you have a line of credit, does that banker get with you once a year to renew that line of credit? What about your mortgage lender? Right now, mortgage reviews are very popular because of the declining interest rates. A lot of people need to review their mortgage and decide if it's time to refinance. What about insurance? If you have whole life insurance, do you get a statement once a year that shows the value of that insurance and the cash value? Of course you do. And does your insurance agent sit down and go over your coverages with you? What do you notice about this group? They're all your trusted advisor team. And your goal is to reposition yourself, not as a salesperson, but as a member of their trusted advisor team. So real estate, position yourself as their source of real estate knowledge and information. Now, many of our clients have to fill out an annual financial statement. How do they fill in the line on the value of their real estate? It's not like a bank where they're getting a statement every month that shows how much, or from their stocks, the value of their portfolio. How do they do it for real estate? Where do most of them go? Right? They go to Zillow. They look at the Zestimate. Well, how accurate is the Zestimate? You can go on Zillow's website and you can look at their accuracy. The last time I looked, which was last month, their accuracy was plus or minus 10%, 59.2% of the time. So what that means is on a $400,000 house, it can be from $360,000 to $440,000. That could be an $80,000 spread. They can be that accurate about 59.2% of the time. Can we do better than that? Absolutely. Do we owe it to our clients to help them with that? Yes, we do. Okay, so what is a real estate review? It is not a full-blown market analysis. If they want a full-blown analysis, we can follow up and provide that. It's basically an overview of the market and a range of value for their property. It's something that should take less than 5 minutes to prepare. It could be as simple as what I call a one-pager out of the MLS. It's just a one page that shows here's what's sold in the last year in your neighborhood, here's what's for sale in your neighborhood. You could be using RPR, the Realtor Property Resource Report from the National Association of Realtors. If you're a member of NAR, you have access to that report. A lot of ninjas are using that report. You could use the Focus First tools. How many of you are using the Focus First tools? Show of hands. And how many are not? Okay, if you don't know about those tools, we'll be showing those tools to you tomorrow. It doesn't really matter what you choose to use. It just needs to give your client or your friend an overview of the market and a range of value. Ideally, you want to sit down and do this face-to-face. If you can't, then try to set up some sort of a virtual meeting, maybe a Zoom meeting or a GoToMeeting. And if they're not available because they're leaving town or they just don't have the time, no worries. I'll just drop it in the mail to you. This should not be pressure. You're offering service. And if they can't take advantage of the service right then, hey, don't try to talk them into it. Just say, no worries, I'll just drop it in the mail to you. When you meet with them, don't get too caught up in your analysis. First, focus on them. So, John, I haven't seen you guys for, it's probably 8 or 9 months. How's the family? How's business? What are you guys doing for fun? What are your plans for the summer? Okay? Ask some forward questions. And then make it easy for them to meet with you. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And also make it fun. So you may want to invite them to lunch or to breakfast or for a drink after work. Have fun with this. What I find is the biggest concern that a lot of ninjas have is, how do I make the call? How do I set up that appointment? What do I say? Well, we're going to offer you some strategies on that. A basic one would be this, and this is in your manual. As part of my service to you, I offer the opportunity to sit down once a year and give you an update on the value of your real estate. I've prepared a report for you. Now, whatever you say is fine, but the most important thing is to let them know that you've already prepared the report. Because if you say, I could prepare a report for you, what is their reaction? Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't put yourself out. No, I've prepared a report. They know you've put energy into it, and they're going to want to see that report. And they feel like they really owe it to you to look at the report that you've prepared. Okay? What you say before that can vary. If you're in a pattern of doing real estate reviews for your people, it could be, hey, John, this is Larry. Let's grab lunch. I got your report ready. You won't believe how the market's changed in the last year. It could be as simple as that. Make it easy for them to meet. Make it easy for them. So maybe you'll meet at their house. Maybe you'll meet at John's office. Maybe you're on a committee together at the Chamber of Commerce. You say, John, why don't we grab coffee after the committee meeting? It could be maybe John wants to come to your office. It doesn't really matter. Just make it easy for them. And if they can't meet, offer a virtual meeting. And if that doesn't work for them, say, no worries. Let me drop it in the mail to you. I went to Pam Cass, who's one of the top ninjas in the country in the area of real estate reviews. Pam has done hundreds and hundreds of real estate reviews. She's a master at real estate reviews. And I asked her this question. I said, Pam, when you call for an appointment for a real estate review, what are the odds that your friend or your client will say yes? And she says, well, virtually 100%. I go, really? I want to know how you're doing that. So here's Pam's system. Here's how Pam does it. Number one, she starts with her top 50 clients. These are what she calls her A's. They're her card-carrying fans. These are her best friends. These are people that she could call and say, hey, let's get together for coffee, and they'll go. She doesn't even have to have a real estate review as an excuse to get together. They just want to get together with Pam. Okay? These are her most important people, and it's very easy for her to get the appointment with them. In fact, she feels it's her obligation to take care of her best clients, her top 50, and it's a responsibility to let them know what's going on with their real estate. She uses the 5-step calling process. Step number one, we had this earlier today. Step number one is what? Salutation. Hi, this is Pam. Is this an okay time? Step number two is what? Go to common ground. She say, hey, first of all, how's the family? Step number three, purpose of my call. Well, secondly, I wanted to call and let you know that I have your real estate review ready. I can't wait to show you what's gone on in the market. When can we get together? I'm going to be over in your neighborhood next week, Wednesday or Thursday after work. Does that work for you, 5:30-ish? They say, yeah, Wednesday would be great. Super. Step 4, go back to common ground. So what are your plans for the weekend? What are you guys up to? Step 5, keep it short and sweet, 2 or 3 minutes. Thank them for their time on the call and say, I'll see you Wednesday at 5:30. Now, Pam likes to go to their home. She offers that for 3 reasons. And when she goes to their home, she always takes a small gift. Maybe it's a bottle of wine, maybe it's some bread, maybe it's some flowers. A small gift to them. It sets the stage and lets them know how important they are, especially with her top 50 clients. She likes to go to their home for 3 reasons. Number 1, it's easier for them. She has nearly a 100% conversion rate. 100% say, yes, that'd be great, come on over. The second reason she likes to go to their home, they like to show her their home and they like to ask her questions. You know, we're thinking about doing this or we're thinking about doing that. What do you think, Pam? And what's really interesting, the third reason she likes to go, she gets to look at their home. And 2 months later, she may have a buyer who's looking for a particular type of home that isn't on the market, but their home fits. And she can call up and say, you know what? I've got a buyer that is looking for a home like yours. Would you ever consider selling it? Whether they want to sell or not, does the owner feel good if somebody calls and says they have a buyer for their home? Absolutely. And Pam has double-ended so many sales that way. And so she prefers to go to their home. She also talks about the ripple effect. You know, when you do a real estate review in a neighborhood, the neighbors talk. This beautiful home is not one that she did a real estate review for. It's the neighbor's home to her client. She did a real estate review for her client. The client was talking to the neighbor. Neighbor said, we're thinking of moving. The client says, wait, let me run back in and get you the real estate review that Pam Cass did for us. Pam's client took over the real estate review to the neighbor. The neighbor looked at it, called Pam, listed the home with Pam for $3.6 million, and Pam got it sold. At the time, it was the highest sale in our market. So let's review. If you do real estate reviews and you do it this way, what are your results? Well, if you do face-to-face or virtual, 33% of the time, business will come out of this. Now, most of the time, what is it? It's referrals, okay? You'll get referrals. If they are busy and they say, we can't meet, great. Phone call, mail, phone call, your return is 15%. Let's do some math right now. If you're doing 2 live real estate reviews a week, that's 100 a year times 33%. How many transactions is that? 33 transactions. Would that be worth 2 real estate reviews a week? You know, if you're just doing phone call, mail, phone call, it's 15% of 100, it's 15 transactions. This is one of the most powerful relationship builders, referral generators that we have. Habit number 7, real estate reviews. Now, if you just mail it out, we've done the research on this, it drops to 2%. And if you email it, what's the odds? It's hardly worth doing. Don't email it. Spend the money on the postage and mail it out. In this market, real estate reviews are what? They're fun to do. Have people experienced appreciation over the last 10 years? Yeah, it's fun. Many of them don't realize how much equity they have and how much their homes have gone up. So this is an opportunity for you to share that with them. So let's do this. Let's rehearse a real estate review appointment. Let's use the 5-step calling process to call our clients and set up a real estate review. So I'd like for you to pick a partner. One of you be the ninja, the other one be you. And ninja, call and set up an appointment for a real estate review with your partner.